Hi, this is Patrick Robinson coming to you live, giving you a brief but not so brief short story of my autobiography about my life. Well, I would like to start off letting you know that my name is Patrick Eugene Robinson Jr. My parents, the makers of me, were LaKimberly Demetric Anderson and Patrick, Eugene Robinson Sr. Okay, I was born January the 7th, the year of 1992, in Little Rock, Arkansas, at the Doctor's Hospital building. Yes, at the Doctor's Hospital building. Okay, so a little after I was born, my parents ended up getting married. Okay, so in 1995, they end up getting separated because of another woman by the name of Gwendolyn Hatchett. Yes, I said Gwendolyn Hatchett. She was actually working at the same company as my father at the time when they met, and that was at a place called Tyson's Foods, where they do chicken and everything. The people that are incorporated with Kroger's and Walmart and those people. Yeah, so they were working out there, and actually the woman was twice my father's age. She was basically trying to buy his love, I would actually say, because she could give him everything that he wanted because she had money, and my mother could not do that. So, my father was messing with her undercoverly, not letting my mother know, but at the same time, my mother knew something was going on because, when you're in a relationship with someone, you know when something is not going right, and you know when they're messing with someone else if you're smart enough to know. But yes, if you're not a boy. But yes, in 1995, they actually end up getting separated, not just getting divorced yet, but in 1997, they end up getting a divorce. Yes, so my father ended up getting married to her, and I could say, okay, I'm just trying to make it real short and brief, but But yes, they end up getting married, and I remember the day my mom came home and told me that, they got married, and I was really disappointed because I thought it was going to be my mother and father forever, but, everything doesn't last forever. So, let me see, yeah, when I was in the fourth grade, I would say in 2001, I was in the fourth grade. I'm 18 now, almost 19. It's December the 3rd. I mean the 4th, I'm sorry. Yes, today is December the 4th when I'm recording this video. I'm almost 19 when my new show comes out January the 7th. But yes, anyway, enough about that. Back to what I was saying. In 2001, I was in the fourth grade. I was attending a school called Forest Park Elementary, located on Cantrell Road in Little Rock, Arkansas. I was in a teacher named Miss Lumberger's classroom. She, I gave her a lot of problems. I can honestly say I was a class clown, just growing up, you can just be honest to things that, were in the past or whatever like that. And so, yeah, I was a class clown. I did cause a lot of problems with my teachers, and that caused my mother to go through a lot of stressful things. At the same time, she was already a single parent trying to do it on her own, so I was just adding more to her. So I didn't really see my father a lot after my mother and father got a divorce because my father was just going through a lot of growing up, I'm guessing. So I really didn't see him like I wanted to. That's why I just had that spiritual love for my father. And he would ask me all the time, did I want to move with him? So I said yes, and I ended up moving with him, switching schools, and started going to school in Magama. That's located like in North Little Rock. Yes, I started going to a school called Harris Elementary. I was in a teacher named Miss Donald's class. She was a black woman, my first black teacher. And yes, so there, as I went there, I started to cause problems also. Things just didn't change overnight for me. So I started causing problems there, and my father would discipline me, and his wife would also discipline me. But I can honestly say, out of every woman that my father was with, besides my mother, she was just really the one that I really liked. Even though she had some parts of evil, because the way that the whoopings and just the discipline was just out of order, and really could have had skin in everyone's life for that. I remember one time she made a threat to me saying that if I got in trouble again, she would make me eat the maggots out of our trash can. And she took me outside and showed me the maggots, and it was just this one big maggot. And it just really, gave me a life-changing thought. So, again, my father started messing with another woman, which I'm not, well, I know how he met her. He met her through my uncle Lee Robinson. Yes, he's actually a local worker at the student bus station. First student bus station, yes. He's been working there for a long time. So I guess they were at some kind of party get together that first student was having, and that's how they met. And I ended up finding out about her one day. My dad took me over there to see her, and meet her and everything. And I was like, well, I kind of figured that because my dad and his wife were going through a lot of things, problems or whatever. So, making it so short, him and his wife ended up separating, and we ended up moving with her. When I first met her, I had the impression that she was just a nice woman, and I ended up liking her better than I liked my father's wife, just for the simple fact that she was just more and more nicer, and she just really didn't know me, and I really didn't know her. But after just investigating time, like how she treated her children, the whoopings that she gave her children were like no other. It wasn't even compared to the woman that my father was married to, the one we lived with before we moved with her, Miss Gwendolyn Jackson. It wasn't nothing. She had nothing on her. She was way eviler. And as time went by, I just seen it in my eyes that one day it would come to her abusing me also. And the abuse that she gave me was just worse. I just can say she busted my head open numerous of times. She just took me through so much. Like, I didn't have privileges like everyone else. I could say I was the male Cinderella in the house because everyone else had more privileges than me. I couldn't even go in the refrigerator because, she was just such a fat, just, you don't know what I want to say, but she was just such of a woman that didn't like me because I was my father's son, and I guess she wanted a baby by my father or whatever. I don't know what the case was. I guess she was just jealous of me. I don't know, but she abused me over time and over time, and she also did some evil things to my father, which ended up making us move to our own house in North Little Rock, where, well, yes, I was in the 7th grade going to Robinson Middle School. This is the biggest thing that she ever done to me. I didn't get a math interim report signed from my teacher, Miss Gibson, and it's crazy how I can remember all these teachers' names now, because seriously, like, I couldn't even remember now, but this is just like serious business to me, just letting you know about my life. But yeah, so I didn't get an interim sign. I was asleep. I woke up. She woke me up with a knife to my neck. When I say it was a butcher's knife, it was a butcher's knife. The knife was about this thick, and it was like just real sharp, a brand new knife. Especially, we had just moved into my father's house. He had to move out the house from her because she was just so crazy, and she did just some crazy stuff, like cut up his clothes, cut up his shoes, oil down his car, everything. It was just crazy. So we had to get away from her, but at the same time he still dealt with her, but he just couldn't live with her. So they were still talking. So she did that, and she made me get up out of my bed that night, and she had ran some dishwater, and she had ran nothing but hot water in the dishwater. She made me put my hands in there, and she the water was literally burning my skin off my hands, like. And after that, she was sitting in my father's room that was pointing directly to the kitchen with a knife set, and she just got to throwing the knife at me like that. While I was at the sink, I just had to move back, or I would have had all kind of stab marks. And the next thing I knew, when she ran out of knives to throw at me, she just started charging towards the kitchen with a big knife, the knife that I told you about. And she chased me around the kitchen table, and I kind of got tired, and I stopped. And if I wouldn't have moved, she would have stabbed me right through my neck. And it's a big slash in my father's ex-house that he used to live in from that knife going through that wall. Yes, that was just something just just something that I would just never picture myself going through. And the next day, I went to the counselor's office, and I told them about it, and they sent me to my mother's house. And I got to my mother's house, and she was there. The woman that did all this to me, Miss Chandra Carter, did this. She was there waiting in my mother's driveway. So I waited till my mother and father pulled up in the driveway before I came around this. I was on the next block looking over because I seen her car there when I was on my way to come to my mother's house. And so they were there, and my mother was just going off and all this and that, and my father was just going off and everything. He was just making it seem like this is what he told me directly. If I knew she was that type of person, I would have never left you around her. So I stayed at my mother's house for a week. Ended up going back home, and my father was still with this woman, acting like nothing happened. Like I was crying in tears because it just hurt me so bad. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can just imagine yourself going through that, and your father still deals with this woman. But this is nothing, because I know it's something like this, my situation that goes on in everyday life. So after that, basically, I lived with my father through the 8th and 9th grade. He was still with her. I just end up having to forgive her. Not really just having to. I forgave her, but I would never forget. No, I would never forget. Yes. So, and I ended up staying with my father 8th and 9th grade. He just changed just changed my father into a whole new, brand new person. And he started just saying forget me. He would leave me in the house with no food. I would call anyone just to go, try to give me some food and everything. He was just really abused me, just taking advice from her, and how it made us today. We don't even have that close bond. But now it's kind of getting better. I can say it's kind of getting better because I'm growing up, and I'm just really not worried about my past. I'm worried about going on to the future, So yeah, so I stayed with my father until about the 9th grade, and after that, when he started doing all that, not feeding me, treating me wrong, all this and that because of her, then I left. I just ran away, and I ended up coming to stay with my grandmother, the 10th and 11th grade, where in the 11th or the 10th grade, I was actually at Central. I lived with my mother, I'm sorry, in the 10th grade. I left my grandmother's house to go back to my mother's house, and me and my mother still couldn't get along, so I came back to my grandmother's house. And in the 11th grade, I was trying to go back to Central, but they kind of found out about my school system zone, so I had to go to McClellan, where I thought I was going to have to go through fighting and all this because of the area. Southwest Little Rock, I can honestly say, is the hoodest, yes, the hoodest area in the whole Little Rock that gets down here. I thought I was going to have to fight a lot, but when I got there, it was just like I was a star. Everyone loved me, how I was and everything. I just had best dress and some other stuff. But I ended up leaving McClellan before the school year was over because I just couldn't take it anymore, because it was just so much going on, and just way too much. So I just decided to go to Job Corps. I went to Job Corps. I really didn't get my trade. I was 50% complete, but that was just too much for me. I was just that type of person. I'm working on it now, but I was just that type of person that couldn't deal with, just patience. I don't have patience. My mother is like that, but in different situations, I can see her finishing my situations that I should have finished. But yeah, so I went to Job Corps. I did get my GED or whatever, so that was a good thing for me. And after that, like the next year, I started going to Arkansas Baptist, and I couldn't get financial aid because me and my father were getting into it about him giving me the papers from his taxes to start my financial aid, and he wouldn't give it to me the whole year. So I just dropped that and forgot about going to school because I couldn't pay for my school, and I had signed a promissory note and everything. But then this year came, and I started school. I'm not gonna say I did so well, but I know next semester I'm gonna do very well. I didn't really have a ride to school every day. It's just like a lot of things that you are gonna see on my reality show that goes on with my family that is just crazy, and you wouldn't even believe that I would go through. But yes, that's basically my brief autobiography to you. That's basically brief, of how my life was. It's really not a lot, but you'll learn more about my past life on my show too, because I reminisce all the time, and that's something that I just really love to do, because I'm just so grateful to God that I made it through a lot of things that I've made it through, because I done had a lot of suicidal moments, but at the same time, I know if I do that, then it's not going to do nothing but send me to hell, and it's not the best way to go at. It's better to just go through things to make yourself stronger. That's what I want to tell everyone that's listening, that don't ever give up. It's always faith. Always have faith, because if you don't have faith, you don't have nothing. But yes, this is Patrick Robinson coming to you live, and that was my autobiography. Thank you all for listening, and I hope you tune in to my new show, January the 7th. And it's gonna be great. So I hope you all be watching. I know my fans are gonna be watching. Everyone has asked me to get on the show and all this and that, but you know it's only gonna be the people that I really just deal with in my everyday life. So you know, hope to see you there. And thank you for listening and tuning in to my autobiography. And this will help you understand a lot more about how I am in my life. So thank you, and I hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope you all enjoy my show. Actually, on this, my first season is going to be 12 episodes, so yes, it's going to be I can say 3 months until my first season is over, and then I'm going to have my reunion show. But yes, thank you all for tuning in, like I said, and I hope you all have a blessed day, and thank you for listening to my autobiography. Thank you.